So for the Kenyan one, it's embarrassing. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we
It's a
haven't. Yeah, it's
disgrace.
embarrassing that we don't have any Kenyans on. It's a disgrace, bro. It's a disgrace, to be honest. It's like other African countries have been seeing. They're like, oh, Kwani Kenyans don't have any artists, and I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, but this is something we've been known. Like Kenyans do listen to more foreign music than local music. So
I'm an a Batman thing.
Naughty boy.
Eyes on me ka pesa za matanga. Eyes on me ka chapo za harusi. Venye we ni mkamba na unajiona Lil Uzi. Akichora basa mina geuka Lil Busi. Mfuko ni Benjamins ka mi mkapa. After kula dina na mfanya yes hapa. Venye mutesa kana fa kwa kabaka. Beat na ibaka inafanya daibaka. Because I'm a chef cheza kama chef Shenko. Chimba boa holy let them chemko. No tajiri.
what's up, guys, and welcome to episode 170 of the 30% podcast. I go by Afamefuna, aka a fine African man. My co-host goes by Sam, the Jedediah Are, and together we form a podcast of two music producers who actively talk about the Kenyan music industry in detail, sharing our opinions, disagreeing sometimes, agreeing not so many times, but then having wholesome conversation about what's going on, because we have the pure intention of wanting to see Kenyan artists paid more and played more, and this experience is made worthwhile by you guys who are listening to the podcast. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Sam, what's up?
That's the most intro-y intro I've ever heard. That's the most
Listen.
intro-y intro I've ever heard in my life. Oh my goodness. That's like that's the business end. That's like an elevator pitch. That's an elevator pitch intro. That's cool. We should just record that and then play that every single week. That's what we should do.
Contrary to belief, that intro came from straight from my heart. So
From
yeah.
your heart. From your heart. What's going on, man? How is life?
I asked you how you are doing. Like,
I'm
you
deflecting.
just Uno
Here, let me
reversed
deflect in
without
peace.
even like.
Let me deflect in peace. I've
Bro,
been watching.
please.
I've unashamedly been watching the new season of Love Is Blind, and there's been a lot of deflectors on there, so I'm practicing some of my skills.
Oh my God, you're watching reality TV.
It's fun. It's interesting. It's you know how I just love people and just seeing how they interact with each other and just the cringiness and that occurs and just watching what social interactions are. It's interesting. Anyway, I was trying to deflect, but that obviously didn't work. I am all right. I'm wearing a sweater. It's a bit colder. It's been raining, which has been great for the grass, but terrible for just being outside. Luckily, I've not been caught outside. To everyone who's been caught outside, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Apart from that, I'm just still working. Nothing interesting in my life going on for the 90th week in a row. How are you doing? What's going on?
I've been good, man. Just been working on music, which means I've been indoors a lot. You know, it's been raining, so me being
Yeah.
indoors is also great for the grass.
Sure.
And yeah, just been working on a lot of music. I haven't been reading as much, so I think, to be honest, I'm the second book in this Jade War has been a bit of a slog, so I haven't really been
slog?
too tapped in. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know, it's not as exciting as the first book, so I need to kind of get back into like the excitement of Jade War. I mean, I'm yet to watch the final episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdom. I'm gonna be so sad to not see Dunk and Egg on a weekly basis. So shout out to Dunk and Egg, man. They've been through everything. Last week, I'm sure you guys listened. You heard me mention, and last week was the trial of Seven, and that was crazy. But like, hey, Anyway, I don't look forward to a post A Night of the Seven Kingdoms world, which I'm about to be in after today. Aside from that,
Oh man.
yeah, just be.
Interesting.
Oh man, listen. I've been listening to a lot of music, and let me tell you, beef is in the air. This isn't even a segue to the main beef that's happening. There's another beef that's happening. If you're tapped into the Nigerian underground, I promise you, you're eating good. Like there's a huge beef happening right now. That it's literally taken up like 2 days of me just following the beef. So it's a beef between three people or amongst three people. Actually, it's a group. There's a group called CYK, which stands for Cyber Youth Kin. And the main person people recognize is a guy called Lua. He has a song called Psych Body, which went viral like the past 2 months because he was promoting it by wearing heels. I showed Sam this video, so
Yeah.
you'll remember
Yeah,
about
I
Lua.
remember those. I remember
Yeah.
edgy.
So,
Mr. Edge.
so there's a whole yeah, he's quite edgy. So there's a whole thing that happened within their group. There's just a lot that they were being giving. So somebody made merch for them. I forget the name of the person who's making merch. And then, because Lua was like, yo, I'm the main guy. This is all alleged.
Wait,
There's
is this beef in between his members or are they beefing with other people?
Oh yeah. So the other members of CYK are there's a dude called Black Boy. And there's another dude called S1 or Die. Now, you have to be really tapped in to know who these people are. Anyway, so they all make like the whole Afro trap, the whole Afro beats trap thing that's been happening.
Yeah. Afro trap,
Yes.
Afro
So they-
swing to some extent, like they're all just mixed in
Yeah.
sort of-
so they make the
with that genre. It's a new.
Yes. So they all make that vibe. But they're all Nigerian, but I think they're also in the diaspora because I think Black Boy is in Canada and I think S1 is in UK or something. Anyway, they've been releasing diss tracks on Lua, like being like wearing heels. That's a Lua thing. It's
Yo,
like
but I told
painting
you
your
though. I
nails,
told you that's
a
fodder.
Lua thing.
I told you that's fodder. Though.
It's
When you showed me,
fodder.
I told you
It's
that he's setting himself up for if this doesn't work out.
Bro.
He's setting
Yeah,
himself up.
because what happened was apparently he was asking for 60% of the profits from
Why?
selling merch because
He's the guy.
because he's the guy who made Psych even like a thing. Like that's the only reason why we know about Psych because of Lua. So and then apparently he signed something for 10,000. They say 10K. I am assuming it's $10,000. God forbid he snaked his bros for 10,000 naira. Anyway,
Look, if he did that, that's he wouldn't do that. You would 10,000 naira. I mean, I don't want to slag on Nigeria's economy right now, but then 10,000.
I had to
naira
do the conversion.
is not much.
It's like 1,000 bob.
Hey,
So
no, you
I'm
didn't have to say
pretty
it.
sure.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine starting a
I'm
beef over
pretty
1,000
sure-
bob? That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't beef over 1,000 Kenya shillings. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's $10,000. So let me tell you, bro, people would do a lot for $10,000.
People do a lot for 1,000. Yeah, I don't know why you're just throwing 1,000 away like that. That's a lot of money for someone.
Yeah, man. So that's what I was involved in. It was huge. It was massive news. It's still kind of big. I was watching Twitch streams, imagine, of people explaining the beef. So yeah, man, that's kind of.
I guess beef is in the air.
Beef is in the air, man. It's a beefy.
It's a beefy time. We're living in beefy times. We are living in
guess
beefy
so.
times. But yeah, I mean, we had talked about the beef last week, and the possibility of just Brooklyn Boys and Toxic going at each other. They dropped a bunch of diss tracks. They've dropped a couple more, and unfortunately, we had stories of it escalating into a physical thing, which is not what
I mean,
anyone-
twice.
Yeah,
Twice
which-
at this point.
twice. Yeah. So I mean, it's been it's interesting to watch. For me, it's interesting to watch the reaction of people because like beef is such a, and this kind of was my point last week. The beef is such an interesting thing because it's fun, it's sport, it's gladiator sport, it's the rap Olympics, it's showing what you can do, and it's really where rappers can go against each other head to head, apart from like album sales and numbers. And of course, here in Kenya, we are not really focused too much on album sales and numbers. But then people we spur on beef because that's what kind of shows us, okay, who is better, and we're always comparing. But then the moment that it turns physical, that's when it starts saying, oh, it wasn't supposed to be. Like I saw a lot of comments and everything on the different platforms. Like, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Why are guys beefing? And then my question is like, what really, what are you expecting? Right? What are you expecting? Sometimes it goes that way. And the other thing with beef is we are enjoying sport and it looks cool and it's fun for us, right? You can drop tracks, we can listen to tracks. It's more music for the fans. It's great, but then you don't know the extent of what's happening, and we're not really connected to what's happening with the actual rappers or artists who are beefing. There's just a couple of observations. I don't know. It's
I mean, so the first one was kind of like so the first like incident happened, and I guess there were, let's just say there were people who went to a hood that Buruklyn Boys might live in,
yeah.
and threw stones at their like residence. I mean, I've been told like that's like factual and that actually happened. And that was not good. One person who keeps on being very, very like outspoken is this dude Maurugwash. He's also a rapper, but he's like I don't know how to describe it, but like he talks a lot. Let's just say, like, you know, like how like Tekashi 69 be
Yeah.
talking a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so Maurugwash
feels the
talks
need to
a
say
lot.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Chiming.
yeah, man, like these guys decided to go to throw stones at Kida Brooklyn's like hood, and you know, at that point, it just kind of goes with what we were saying. I mean, for me, I love beef in hip hop and rap, but like when it becomes physical, and then now people are
You're putting other
actually
lives
getting
in danger too. I mean,
hurt,
going to throw
yeah.
rocks at someone's house,
I
that's
mean,
so you
yeah.
might catch someone else. You might catch, you know, not necessarily the person you're looking for, but then
Yeah, you could. And I saw some other guy getting hit like with a rungo. I'm like, bro, in Toxic's defense, he says we don't co-sign violence or property damage. Whatever happened in the streets is not something I ordered. I stand on music. Let the music talk. Let the numbers talk, and let the people
very
decide. Hashtag end violence.
mob boss answer. But okay, I'm with it.
Yeah, like I ordered. So this is
Yeah.
these guys be ordering hits, bro.
Stone hits. Oh man.
Yeah, 50,000 on somebody's head. Yeah, dude, I'm sure crazy things be happening.
Crazy things
like
happen in
that.
the streets. Yeah, and that's
but-
kind of what I'm saying, is that sometimes we're not aware as fans of what what goes on, you know, in the streets. But
And so that kind of like after that situation happened, B-Boys released the song Genje Sana, which bro, what a response. I feel like that song kind of propelled the beef even further, because it just, I don't know, it just did what it needed to do. And there were so many one-liners there about Denzel getting an E in high school, and what is he going to tell his mom and shit. Like that was genuinely highly entertaining, and
which Toxic responded to. But yeah,
feebly, in my opinion, because here's my thing, Sam. I think the art of warcraft, or the warcraft of needs to be like, you need a solid team around you when you're beefing. One, because do you know what? Like Toxic released like a teaser of that diss track, and I think that's a complete mistake. I think, but I don't. But then, that being said, Buruklyn Boys didn't take that to their advantage. Me personally, I would never release a teaser for a diss track. I think you're just giving the enemy your moves for free.
yeah.
And
Okay.
it allows it allows the person who you're dissing to kind of already use what you're saying in the teaser on the next diss track, and it's like, oh, okay, so this means your diss track isn't done, and so then the person you're beefing with could step on it immediately because they're ready. Like what that, and that's exactly what Kendrick Lamar did. Like when Kendrick Lamar dissed Drake, rather when Drake released the song "Family Ties." Was it called Family Ties or Family Matters? Family Ties, I think. Or Family Matters, yeah. Like, that was a really good diss track. That was an amazing diss track. But you see, the genius of Kendrick Lamar is immediately, bro dropped a diss track, stepping on it. And then after that, dropped the Haymaker. He dropped he dropped Meet the Grahams immediately after Family Matters.
Yeah.
Stepped on that. And then after that, even before Drake had a chance, boom, he drops Not Like Us. That's
But
a
Brooklyn
knockout
Boys
punch.
haven't stepped on it, have they? Have they responded yet?
No, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. They've kind of like
They fumbled that.
relaxed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because okay, what they've done, and I don't know what you would feel about this. So Brooklyn Boys have essentially used this like to kind of elevate like their status, because they've done like they posted a brand deal that they were doing on their socials.
Hey, I'm not mad at it.
And then they've
That's
done
exactly
a show.
what that's
after
exactly what
that.
this is for. That's exactly what this is
So
for.
so what do you so what do you think? Do you think it's smart their approach to kind of like use this to like now engage brands because the numbers are up, or do you think they should have prioritized like continuing with the diss tracks? Because I kind of feel like it's over. Because after Genje Sana and Bad Intentions, it's kind of
Bad
it
Every
feels
Day.
like it's dead. Oh, Bad Every Day. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
not Bad Intentions. Yeah, it feels like it's
I don't know.
Dead.
I feel
No.
like this is exciting. I feel like they're going to probably still keep rapping at each other. Of course, this is going to spur a bunch of like just shots on to each other, like on random tracks, like just one jab here, one line here. I'm not mad at it. Listen, as an artist, this is marketing 101, right? You need to use everything that's happening to be able to put yourself in a better position. And if they're doing that, then that's a smart business sense. Of course, it's interesting because I don't know navigating how brands would want to tie into them from the beef and the imagery that they've been putting
a
out.
beef
Like,
angle.
yeah, so that might be something that they consider. But if the brands are cool with it, like if they don't care, then Brooklyn Boys are in a really good place. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see if they respond. Of course,
If they respond,
if they respond,
to
because
Toxic's response.
in my
Yeah.
opinion, in terms of like a song, like song structure and just the sonics or everything, I think Toxic's most recent release for me is my favorite in the beef. It's just a better song in general. But and it seems like a song that could do well outside of beef, like in terms of performing. Like it reminds me of some of the songs that he's been known for, and some of the songs that have sort of put him at this position. So, but it's again, really do hope this stays in the studio. Like when it stays in the studio, it's cool. Of course, we don't know what's championing beef. You really don't know what's going on behind bars and what they really mean and what they don't. And so when certain phrases are being thrown around in songs and we are cool and we're yelling those out, turning the volume up on our Spotifys, you really don't know what guys really mean. And then when you start putting people in danger, that's when it's like, all right, cool. Like, what are we doing?
And I mean, recently, like today, we've seen, but I don't think this is necessarily related to the beef. It could be, but we've seen Toxic Lyrikali and Maurugwash were attacked in Kamaiko. And I don't know if this... So for me, what I'm reading, this is like other people who are involved and not really anyone affiliated with Brooklyn Boys. But right now, the information is kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
But they stoned Toxic Lyrikali's car. And I'm even looking at like one of his wheels was busted and kind of scary.
I mean,
if I'm being honest,
the target is on him. That's another thing with beef, right? The target is on him.
It is. But you know what I blame a lot, bro? Like, I blame capitalism.
Oh, it always goes back to the. Okay, make these
Always.
connections for me because I don't see how what does capitalism have to do with this? Just blame the money. It's always the money and the government.
Because I feel like people always, it's like, why are they? So apparently the thing was, oh yeah, let's steal his chains and stuff like that. And it's like, everybody wants to get on or get the opportunities that you have. And it's because there's not enough opportunities to go around. And so people are really, really fighting for the same spot, which, to be honest, is a mentality because more people than just toxic can thrive, But there's some people who might not necessarily be good at rapping and decide you're going to be a target, and we're going to you've worked so hard, and
So it's an easy
because
come
you're
up for
still
us. Yeah.
it's an easy come up. And it's the reason why people, okay, so this is a different example, but like Chief Keef lived primarily or grew up primarily in Chicago, and everybody who has ever heard of Chicago, especially in a rap context, it's always been described as Chirac, or like, you know what I mean, like, there used to be a whole series called The War in Chirac that was kind of talking about the gang stuff that happens there. But when he blew up, he essentially had to leave and ended up living in LA for the longest time. I don't even think he stays in Chicago anymore. And it's a thing of, just because of the position Toxic has gotten in his career, he may have to live a little bit differently because the target is going to be on his back. But like I said, I blame capitalism.
No, then someone else
And
would
just
diss him and say, "Oh, you left the hood. You abandoned your people."
But it's the smart thing to do.
To abandon your people?
Not abandon your people, but just move differently. Like Toxic Lyrikali is one of the biggest names in the music industry at this point. You have to kind of move differently. It's sad, but you have to. Because like we said, there's that mentality that there's not enough to go around. And so people now start trying to use you as a come up.
Yeah.
And then it gets very dangerous. And they justify it because of the lyrics in your music. Hey, this is why we all need to be singing about. Listen, remember when Jaden Smith said we should be talking about the economic state and the political state in the world? Yeah. Listen, this is Afam saying. This is Afam saying, kids, let's rap about positivity.
Bitcoin and the exchange rate. Can you imagine how boring that album will be? Oh, that's a terrible album. Also, just a separate point, I've heard a couple of, I've heard 2 or 3 of other rappers jumping into, you know how guys just dandia, jumping into this either Buruklyn Boys or Toxic Lyrikali, and it's just falling on deaf ears. None of those songs are good enough for you to take part in any sort of beef whatsoever. But hey, you can't knock a man for trying, right? Guys are going to do what they're going to do. It's interesting that you've not seen any. Have you seen any any of the respectable rappers in the country talking about this?
Yeah. I believe Calligraph Jones talked about it. Essentially saying this is their time. I think he was referencing somebody else who was talking about releasing music, and he was like, yo, let's clear the way for Kina B-Boys and Toxic Lyrikali because now is their time.
I like that.
Yeah,
instead
so
of just trying to jump on it and create new life for themselves.
Yeah, so I've seen a few people talk about it. Me personally, I think it's dying down. So now that we've had over a week to internalize the events, do you think Toxic Lyrikali has won? Do you think he's come out better than Buruklyn Boys from this scuffle, or is it the opposite way around?
Ooh, I have enjoyed Toxic's music more. Is that a separate question from who has come out better? Because that's how I'm looking at it. Because this is all music to me. I'm looking about who won, which ego survived. That's not how I've looked at it.
No, I like your angle. So in terms of musicality, you feel like Toxic Lyrikali's songs were better.
Yes, music. I think it was better.
Is it because of the structure? Do you think it's because of the bars he was giving?
Ooh, it's in general, like, so I think he's not strayed too far from the kind of music he usually releases. And for me, I'm also looking at this like, all right, what later on am I going to be able to like go back and listen to, and just like relieve the beef. If so it could go two ways. Number one, you could make really good songs that could live outside of the beef, and that does well. Or you could make songs that are really potent, but then they don't have that much replay value apart from what it did at the moment. And so, like, for me, I would personally enjoy like a song that I could go back and listen to, and just like it's almost like replays. Watch the replay in hindsight and just kind of see what happened. And then if it's a good song as well, it's a bonus. So I enjoy Toxic's music more. I'm not in any way saying anything about the
Who won or not?
the beef and what they're actually fighting for in the ego. And remember, this all came from dancehall. So
It did. For me personally, I disagree with you. I think music-wise, if I just talk about the music, I think B-Boys was better and more memorable and has more replay value, especially because of the bars. The bars are more hilarious. Like, the whole thing about him getting an E, the references to Geoffrey Musiria, it's just more funny and more memorable. It's like Not Like Us, which had like lines that were just more like catchy. Drake was trying to be like more like, okay, yo, I'll bar you, I'll go bar for bar. And then Kendrick just went, I'm gonna make a hit song. So I feel like Genje Sana was more catchy in that sense. When Mr. Right was like Denzel, Katie Cheney, and she like, bro, it's just more, I don't know, there's just more, like, I listened to it again because they released the video. Also, that's another thing, because they release videos and attached visuals. It's
that
like
always,
just more interesting.
that always helps.
It's just more interesting.
That always helps.
So for me, I think Toxic Lyrikali lost this battle. But it's okay that he did. But I think realistically, and this is giving him some leeway, he was never going to win.
Also,
Because
it might not be over too.
Ultimately, it might not be over, by the way. It might not be over. I just feel like it's petered out. But I think he had more to lose realistically than B-Boys, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because right now he's at the top of the game. B-Boys had been a little bit cold, if we're being honest. And so they had everything to gain and he had everything to lose. And he lost, in my opinion. But he didn't die. He didn't lose like without a fight. And I think also it's very divisive, because there's a lot of people who would disagree with me. So in that case, then he did a really good job.
It's always going to be sides, right? It's always going to be sides. You're going to favor whoever you identify the most with. So yeah, let's see if it's not over. It's interesting. Of course, what you do after this sort of sets you up for either success or failure, because if you do, quote unquote, win a battle and then you release some music that's like not good, then that's like, it still always goes back to the music. Like if it's over and then you go back in the studio and you drop something, like even Toxic, he could release like really good music and figure out a way to make it work, and still not have to suffer if he has indeed suffered in terms of his reputation, or not. He could still be at his place, and this could actually like help him and further him on either side. So it's beef.
Yeah, man.
It's beef.
Listen, as long as it doesn't escalate,
no violence
past the studio, then we're happy.
Silly.
Okay, so in new news, so this is breaking news, which technically it's not breaking news, because while you listen to this on Wednesday, it'll have happened 2 days ago.
It was breaking news.
Anyway, this was breaking news.
This was breaking news.
Oh my God, yeah, this was breaking news. Oh my God. So Spotify Africa released celebrating 5 years of Spotify in Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana post on Instagram. And highly interesting just because of the data that they released. So I'll start. They said So the first slide has the playlist. So in the last 5 years, the number of user-generated playlists in Nigeria were 25 million user-generated playlists, 9.5 million user-generated playlists in Kenya, and 3.7 million user-generated playlists in Ghana. That's a good start because it shows that people are actively seeking out content and creating content and spending time on Spotify listening to music.
It's
So
a bit
interesting.
lopsided, but interesting.
Well,
still.
not really. If you look at population metrics, it kind of tracks. No?
Okay. If you look at yeah, well, okay, yes, we could go with that. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. So the next thing is most streamed artists in Nigeria. So number one I don't know if they went in chronological order, but okay, the first name they put was Ashake, then Wizkid, then Shay Vibes, which
I like Shay
for him
Vibes
to
being
be in
there.
the most
Yeah.
yeah, I really do. For him to be in the most streamed artist in the past 5 years in Nigeria, that's huge.
Because he's been around,
means
but then
he's-
he's had the past couple of years. He's had like that a little rise, a little more
there's
eyes
been
on
a
him.
huge bump, man. So shout out to Shay Vibes, and then obviously Burna Boy and Davido. Interesting, Rema is not on that list.
That's fascinating too, because Rema
Hmm.
has had some really big numbers. Interesting.
This has been a rough 2 weeks for Rema. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's. I'm sure he. I mean, this is an Instagram post, but I'm sure he ripped it up. He ripped this Instagram post up.
Yeah,
and
he ripped it digitally. Bro, even downloaded
digitally
it. I'm
ripped
sure
this.
I'm sure there's an app that you can use to digitally rip up
digitally just
things.
rip this list up, man. Throw it in the trash, bro. I'm sure he's.
Nah, you're listening.
At this point, he might be done with the industry. Honestly, at this point, Rema is done.
No, but no, I
can't catch a
hope
break.
Rema is like me and he's fueled by hate. Because right now, Rema needs to be like just like writing
I don't
the
think
best
that's
music he's ever done in his life.
Yeah. Oh, just keep doing what you're doing. Hey, your fans will love you. See, that's the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you
Rema
make
has
a
to prove them
Spotify.
wrong.
It doesn't matter if you make a Spotify list. Like his streams are doing
It
well.
does legacy.
He says legacy can be spoken about by the music. That's the thing. So all these numbers and everything, yeah, sure. Let them put me on whatever list they want to put me on. But anyway, this is not about Rema.
What did one leg say to the other leg while it was
why?
flirting?
Why do you? I don't know, bro. Can we?
What did one leg say to the other leg while they were flirting?
I don't know, and I don't even want to answer. I don't have a foggy as to what did one leg look what you're doing.
He said you're the only leg I see, because like that's the
Okay,
only
so
leg I see
the
that
most
they see.
streamed artists, most streamed artists in. Do we do? Okay, let's get to Kenya last, because
Do Ghana first. No, do Ghana
That's
first.
what I'm
and
saying.
then
Let's
we
get
do
to Kenya last. Ghana, we have Black Sheriff. No surprise there. Ashake, of course, found his way into that list. Burna Boy, Sarkodie, and Drake. So they have two of their own artists on there, and then
2 Nigerians and then
then
Drake.
obviously, obviously,
Mr.
I'm not
OVO,
surprised.
the boy, bro, the
He's going to find his way
boy.
into every single list. And then in Kenya, let's go. Drake.
Oh my god.
You have,
Okay.
just looking at this, it's just sad. You have Drake,
It's
You have
embarrassing.
Chris Brown, which is fascinating that Chris Brown is. Anyway, we have Drake, we have Chris Brown. You've got Future. Who is listening to Future? I've not heard Future anywhere. And then you have Burna Boy.
But
and
it's the last 5 years, remember? It's the last 5 years.
still, like in this region,
Still.
like
okay.
who is listening to
Okay,
Future? Okay, so then you have your Future, you have Burna Boy, and then you have Travis Scott. So you have one Nigerian and and the American music industry. Oh man.
Also, I've noticed on this 3 list there's no women, which is also very interesting. Anyway, so for the Kenyan one, it's embarrassing. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we
It's a
haven't.
disgrace.
Yeah, it's embarrassing that we don't have any Kenyans on. It's a disgrace, bro. It's a disgrace, to be honest. It's like other African countries have been seeing. They're like, oh, kwani Kenyans don't have any artists, and I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, but this is something we've been known. Like Kenyans do listen to more foreign music than local music. So
Yeah, and
I mean,
some people might expect it to be different because of the recent years. I mean,
because of the recent,
the recent years of just more support and more Kenyan shows and more music coming out and more collaborations and all of that business. Well, perceived more. But then we also need to realize that since this is a 5-year list, this is something that I think as of maybe if you stretch it far back like 3 years, but even then it wasn't like really hot. It's just really now towards the end of late last year and the beginning of this year that we are seeing a more mainstream a more mainstream support of what we're doing in the country. So
it's like in the last 2 years, the pro Kenya movement has really like ramped up.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, but then it's going to take time, right? It's not something that we are just going to automatically see the results of immediately. So yeah, man, this is a big indicator. No BN is fascinating to me.
I know.
Well. Like I thought he would have made it on the most streamed artist list.
He does feature though in the most streamed songs in Kenya. So in the most streamed songs from Kenya in the past 5 years, Ashiwaju is by Ruga is number 1, which tracks because that song when it was on was everywhere, bro. It was everywhere. Bro, that guitar gives me nightmares, bro. Anyway, then Rush by Ira Star, another one. That was like
that thing was played to death. They did it. They exhausted that song.
They did it. They did it, man. They did it. And then number 3 is Bandana by Ashake and Fireboy DML. And then number 4 is Inauma by BN. And even then, he's just number 4. And then number 5 is Lonely at the Top by Ashake. So we tried. So we tried a little bit.
Still, in the most streamed artist song, it was America. The most the most streamed artists, it was the US. The most streamed songs, it's Nigeria. So, hey, we need to make better music.
We have a lot of work to do.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. What is it? What is it? What is the issue? Is it the platforming? Is it the technology and access? Is it the artists and the music they're creating? Is it the fans and their tastes that have been shaped over a really long time of not really having this kind of like push?
I would say that's number 1.
The taste,
on the list.
Our tastes as fans, and the Kenyan
yes,
music
and who's been in
industry.
charge of curating Kenyan music as well. Because it's been years. Like I saw somebody post a tweet and they were like, "Oh I might get this wrong," but they were like, "Oh, my great taste in music has been shaped." Or I'm thankful for the people who are like, for like I think it would like Kiss 100 or something, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, my great music taste has been shaped by the music that was on the radio," and then I saw some people were like, "Yikes." Because you know the music that's played on mainstream Kenyan radio is very, very NPC a lot of times, and I feel like the people who have been in charge of curating the music that we're exposed to a lot, you know, in these places where we are most likely like radio, and everything, or like mainstream media like TV and everything, a lot of them prioritized playing foreign music. And I mean, it's in our name. 70% of the music that's played on Kenyan radio, at least at the time we named this podcast, was not Kenyan. It was foreign stuff. So that happening over long periods of time kind of, I feel like, has informed people's tastes more towards like the foreign music, and that's very, very unfortunate. Just hands down unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, but then again, we still also have to. At some point, you also have to like take some blame and be like, okay, fine, like all these different factors have happened and like etc etc. But then also, hey, I could also just decide to listen to Kenyan music despite of what everyone is pushing down my throat. So,
I mean that's interesting.
There's also
interesting.
that.
So you can override your subjective
You can.
opinion and just
You
force
can
yourself
choose to
listen
live outside the matrix. Choose the red pill, bro.
choose the red
But
pill.
the
he
red
says.
pill is only positive if it's matrix.
Look,
if
see,
it's
now
anything else,
we're
it's
creating
horrible.
now we're creating clauses and caveats. That's an interesting question. Interesting question from this. How do you think? So, I mean, Spotify has been here. Spotify was introduced, I think, in Africa in 2018. South Africa and a couple of other places. Then it was introduced here in 2021. That's 5 years. That's 2021.
Somewhere there.
Yeah. How do you think Spotify being around has impacted like the music scene itself? Like, do you think it has had an actual effect, or has it just like entered and coexisted with what's been going on?
I'm sure Spotify being in the scene has exposed Kenyan music to people internationally. Like, remember the one time I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and Mel, who used to be on the platform, through Spotify playlisting, discovered a song by Zinia Manasseh and Ukweli. So I think one thing that Spotify has done is afford Kenyan artists the ability to be on discovery platforms outside of the country, and I think
Yeah.
that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And through playlisting, you look at like New Music Nigeria, you'll see Kenyan artists on there. New Music Ghana, New Music South Africa, you'll see Kenyan artists on those playlists. That really fosters the idea that Kenyan music can be globalized. Sorry, you're gonna say something?
Yeah. No, mine was just a separate point. As it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but then Spotify coming in has put a more our numbers aren't great, but then it has put an emphasis on numbers, and right. So numbers really dictate your popularity and how well you're doing. Before Spotify used to be around, at least in Kenya, we didn't really used to look at sales. I mean, MCSK and them don't really announce numbers, and there's nowhere where we can like actually say numbers. So that wasn't a thing. But then Spotify started looking at this. So now people are looking at, oh, this has crossed how many streams, and this is how well a song is doing because of how many streams it's getting. Also, you have how many monthly listeners, how is that rising, where are they from? That's data that has helped a lot of people. But at the same time, I think it's data that might also have a negative side where people are just bothered more about numbers, like in the Western industry. Sometimes that's an accusation, bothered more about numbers and the optics of music rather than the music itself. So, but I think it's been a positive thing though. If I would say it's been positive.
It's been an overall positive. That being said, I still think the potential streaming has barely been reached, because when you look at the mainstream industry, they barely pay attention to streaming and Spotify and Apple Music. Like most mainstream art, like bro, Diana Cords, for example, right? She dropped her album on YouTube like 3 weeks before dropping it on Spotify. Like that's
Don't care about
craziness.
no streaming at all. Oh, Spotify.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
But it's also because like someone like Diana Cords understands that her audience is less likely to like, oh yo, she released music on Spotify and then they'll do a pre-save. Like they're way, or you know what I mean? Like they're way less likely to. So
we're
I
still
think
trying to catch up technologically wise. Yeah, technology wise.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think streaming has yet to catch on. So even we're yet to really reap or have enough of we can have a bit of a case study, but I think it's not that balanced because it's really just a case study of the people who can, let's be honest, prioritize or have access to listening to music on streaming platforms. So it doesn't offer like a representative case study of the entire country, because unfortunately the entire country is not
for
listening
sure.
to music on
For sure.
Spotify. Yeah. So all the information you're getting from Spotify is based off of the more
focused
uptown
urban area.
demographic,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah. So it's not that. Yeah. Anyway,
that's like back in maybe two. I wish they could release it in 2 more years.
2
and
years.
Let's see how, if one more
or they
name
could
has
do a
creeped
yearly
in.
update now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't. Yeah, okay, yeah, we could see a yearly update. Maybe the next couple of years they should just give us an update year by year and see where we are, just for our own internal critiques. But average,
Yes, sir.
just to bypass, the average listener was 26, 27.
Yes.
That's the technology
That makes
range.
sense.
It makes sense, right? It's not younger.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
It's more inching towards the millennial side, but then it's still interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about today was so there's some international news, and I think this has like really broad ramifications, or not ramifications, but implications to the music industry as a whole and where it's going. So Universal recently struck a deal with Even, which has been in the past described as a superfan platform that is essentially, or that is primarily optimized towards direct to consumer sale of music. I hate when the industries coin things like D2C and feel like it's so inclusive and like, it's D2C, direct to consumer, D2C.
I've been
with
on
that too.
I've been on the part
So
of TikTok
corporate.
that mocks corporate talk.
Yeah.
And all the first quarter and the deliverables and
let's
low
circle
hanging
back
fruit.
to that.
Let's circle back.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
And let's circle back to that.
Leave me alone, man.
I actually realized that I interacted with Even. Well, I interacted with Even before I even knew what the platform was. So J. Cole released before his album, he released a mixtape of 4 songs.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you could pay whatever you want to listen to the music. And so I was like, okay, bet I've got to be a cheapskate and pay $1 to listen to the mixtape. And at the time, I thought he was doing it through his website because that's how you accessed it. But now going back, I looked at the bottom and it says powered by Even. So I was like, oh, wait. So I've genuinely interacted with this technology or this platform without even knowing. So essentially, the deal establishes Even as a direct-to-fan resource for UMG, providing the major labels and artists with turnkey tools for engaging superfans through early access to music, exclusive content, and community features. So it seems like you can, one, decide to leave it up to the consumer. How much you want to pay is how much you want to pay, and we'll take that. Or the music industry, like UMG, like if you look at some of the artists, it's they set a minimum. Like you can pay $7.99 to purchase this album, which isn't like a far-fetched concept because like iTunes does that and everything.
Bandcamp
but I think
does
what's Bandcamp does it. But what's interesting is the major labels embracing D2C, and it's just a shift in. Like we've always been saying, streaming has been really, really leveling out as a source of profits for the music industry.
Yeah.
And they're really, really trying to get fancy.
It's time to get all the money from a different source. And this is the worst source you could get it from.
Why do you think this is the worst source?
DT's direct to consumer currently is an indie concept. It's, everyone keeps saying, you can sell the metaphorically, you can sell your music from your trunk, right? You can, from you to the listener's hands directly, and that's great because an artist doing that is able to see, like tangibly, the reception of their music. That's number one. And then number two, they're able to just gain. There's a hit, a dopamine hit when someone that's actively buys your music, and it's completely different from what you would see on, oh, I got 100,000 Spotify plays, because you don't really know what that equates to. Some of the time, it's up and down with algorithms and locations and all of that business. So when you sell your music directly, and someone gives you a crisp note, and you're like, okay, this is of course metaphorically, right? They give you the crisp note. It's like, okay, this does a lot for me as an artist. When the label meddles in and they start getting their hands dirty, we all know why they're embracing this. Is because this is the artist's. If this is going to become a thing, yeah. So this is like it's just an opportunity for them to recoup more. It's an opportunity for them to get there. You said there's 10. What did you say? They're embracing the 10 new ways or something like that. You said. I just look at it as this is 10. This is 10 more ways for them to collect money from the artists, and it's so sad. They'll put a major label contract is just. And I say major label contract. By major label, I mean like the big ones that are more predatory in how they structure their businesses. They're obviously good labels and all that stuff. But then them meddling like this is just, why? Like, okay, I get it. You need to find ways to evolve. You see, AI just came up. They're looking for ways to link up with AI so that they don't miss out on that bag. This has come up, and if this becomes like a thing where people are like, you see someone like J. Cole doing a DTC, and they're like, oh man, look at how much he made, or look at the potential of this. We need to get our hands in there. It's just very predatory in the way it's. But what can you do? They have the power and the authority.
I get what you're saying. I get because the people who only rely on D2C now have the big three or the major labels as a competitor in that space.
Yeah, and then now how does that affect does that affect the guy at the bottom sales, and how even shows up for them,
Yeah, and the majors have way more access to
everything.
Just everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Once they get in, whatever they say goes, and that's what the platform tends to morph itself around them. So that's just
sure, yeah. But that being said, Even isn't a platform that's just working with the majors. I believe as an artist, you can sign up to use Even as a D2C platform. And yes, obviously you can't scale to the level that these labels like UMG can. But I think it's interesting. It speaks to people wanting more from their interaction with media, because everything has become so, we've all become so desensitized because of so much access that people want to begin to own things again. You want to own a vinyl, you want to buy the project, you want to buy their merchandise, because you can sell merchandise on Even and vinyls and all that stuff. So I think the industry, the music industry, is trying to move towards like, and it sounds bad saying this, but monetizing super fans. That's what the industry is moving to, which is it's sad because it kind of dehumanizes human beings to just you know what I mean? But that's where the music industry is going.
Yeah.
So hey, as a Kenyan listening to this, I think let's try and do more D2C concepts.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea. Like a week before you drop your project, week before you drop your project, like on Spotify, like a week, 2 weeks. Some people even do like a month. Sell it on a DTC platform. And if you have like
what that does,
if you have loyal fans, people still want to buy music. You'll be shocked to subscription really lies to us because it gives you the illusion of control. But if your subscription disappears
to a lot of
or
music,
something happens to their servers, you literally own none of that music. Absolutely none. It's all gone. You don't have no collection nowhere, no CDs in a box with spider webs all over it,
or those booklets. Remember the CD holders?
Okay, God,
that sounds like such a relic now.
That's none of that, bro. No vinyl. It's all gone. And I think there's just value in that. Of course, I don't know how much it will be popular because sites like Bandcamp have been around for a long time and they put money directly into the artist's pocket. But this is interesting because why didn't the industry jump on that earlier? What has even given up?
Because they were making money on streaming, bro. That's why. And so because they were making so much money on streaming, they stepped on all these D2C platforms.
Yeah.
Like completely made sure they were not successful.
So even definitely has given up something to be able to participate in the big major label conversation. But hey, as an artist, again, listen, direct to consumer is really how it's your bread and butter. Something like a show is direct to consumer. You're not going through anything. You're directly offering something to them and they've paid you tangibly. And that's often seen as one of the, especially here, it's often seen as one of the more profitable ways to go about earning from your music. So, hey, figure out ways you could get that done.
Yeah, figure it out. That's what the music industry is about. Just figuring things out.
Is figure it out.
Yeah,
oh snap!
man.
The major labels are touching this. Oh, okay. Readjust.
Let's just readjust, man.
Shout out to EMG.
Anyway, was there any music that was going directly to your ears that you liked?
That was not necessary.
D2E. From D2C to D2E, bro. Come on.
That wasn't necessary. Yeah, I did listen to a couple of songs. Shad Mziki, who is an artist that's on the rise. I think very unique voice, I think, for him. Dropped Tabasamu. I like that. Of course, Needs came out. And we got to listen to the project. Do you think it sounded different on your headphones than in the venue?
It definitely did. It definitely did. But it's still good music. So shout out to We Are Nubia. I was a bit disappointed with. Well, I'm always very critical of high end in music. Granted, that's something not everyone cares about.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mixing could have been a little bit better. But aside from that, the song is still a banger, and I think it's the most available, is the most streamed song so far.
Yeah, so
I think the biggest talking point though is that they changed the artwork. That's been so Sam, do you prefer that they did? Because a lot of people actually are unhappy that they changed it.
The artwork from what we got on the little thing.
Yeah,
I'm very happy they changed that. I'm happy they changed that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Some people think this new one
used.
is just too plain and basic. Like
it is too plain and basic, but then the other one was entirely too busy.
Background.
It was too busy with different fonts and just the same thing written 5 million times, and it's just like it didn't seem very personal. It seemed like a product that they were offering, sort of. So this one, as much as it's simpler, it's more of like a peek into personality. It's a peek into like how they present themselves a little bit more without all the extra distractions. So I like that. It is very plain, and so maybe that might not.
I'm sorry.
Very plain and very clean. And I know you don't like plain and you don't like clean. You like a little bit of texture.
I know. I love. No. You're completely just lying on my name. I love plain and I love clean.
Wow.
Yeah, please.
My
Yeah.
bad, bro.
Yeah. It's just something about this image that's just not. It's just a picture. It's like
a lot of album art is just
artwork.
a picture. It doesn't give artwork.
No,
Goodness.
you know what I mean. Like this, it doesn't. I don't know how to put this into words. Like, and it's unfortunate that I'm having this problem on a podcast.
One place. For one place, you need to use your words. Yeah.
It's a great picture, but it's like a picture you send to all the blogs to use as the assets. But like, it's okay.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Hey, let's not nitpick about the album art. So people will be really annoyed, annoyed at that. But the music, the music. I mean, it's We Are Nubia. Interesting to see how some of the songs evolve and the different lives that they take. So shout out to them. Let me see. Of course, apart from all the diss tracks that we got, a also listened to Just Break My Heart by M. Rumbi. Again, more of M. Rumbi. Octopizzo released a project.
There was a lot of controversy around the Octopizzo project.
I didn't see
Because
actually.
a lot of people were like,
it.
a lot of people online were like, he always claims to be the biggest or the best rapper in the country, but nobody knew that he dropped. And they were like, wait, even if you think that, like, you need to do some marketing and promo. Like,
well, some of the
for
biggest
your
artists in the
project.
country, no one knows they drop either way. Like that's a critique I've had of
Like Calligraph. You've said that about Calligraph.
Yeah, and some of the other ones too. Like we in terms of just how creating hype around music, we've not really mastered that as an industry. I think for some extent, most of the people who know something is going on are the insiders, and of course, it's not as big of an industry, especially within Nairobi. So we all know what's going on. But then, like when you're out of the loop, and it's not necessarily someone that you talk about, like someone like a Diana Courts who dropped a project. Some people might not have known that, and that she dropped a project. You probably don't even know how it looks like, how it sounds like, until you see it. And that's just something that we need to do better as an industry in terms of just creating hype around music and figuring out marketing and rollouts. But yeah, so all that say, I haven't listened to the project yet. 8 songs.
I listened to like 2 songs. It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Oh, I know exactly when to jump in and save you. It's cool. All right. Let me see. Kelechi Africana dropped I'm in Love. What else did I listen to? Yuji, Winyo, and Idaziz dropped Yuapi. Pretty interesting. Sinek and Chuma dropped Senorita, and Nesmburu with Wakwa, Fez, and Afro Quaker teamed up with him on that one. So, I mean, the releasers are still releasing in terms of the Afro house scene. So shout out to them. What did you pay attention to?
I want to shout out to my boy MK Above. He's been making waves the past like 2-3 weeks. He is an R&B singer, and he released a song called Baccarat. So shout out to him. I think he has a high ceiling. I listened to Wayaya by Baraza. I really liked the hook. The hook to that was very, very catchy. I listened to In a Slap by Paroti. I think there was a rhythm like sample in there, and it's the same one that Supe and Dens used on that Urban Tone song, if I'm correct. Anyway, shout out to Paroti. I actually like that one. I listened to Quiz by J-Lo. I listened to Daniel by Ochungulo Family. So that was just an interesting experience.
It's interesting hearing them. Yeah.
They typically hop on Gengetone beats, but this time they wanted to hop on a like trap. Like, okay, so you guys are hopping on trap.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So shout out to OF. What else did I listen to? I don't know if you shouted. Yeah, OF.
All right. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm saying Ochungulo Family,
OF.
please.
No, that's what I mean. But then abbreviating Ochungulo Family to OF is just so, so sacrilegious. Go ahead, man.
I listened to Brayo by Tesla and Unspoken Salaton. I'm just going to come out and say it. I think Black Market Records have a really great artist on their roster who they're using completely wrong.
Oh.
I feel like Tesla is so talented, man. But like some of the things that they be making Tesla do, I'm just like, bro, I don't know why you're on a track singing Brayo. I don't know.
Why?
Okay.
Listen, what do you
probably
see
going
for
to go
Tesla
viral.
that you don't see from her now?
Greatness.
Okay.
Like I see, like she has such good ability to sing, man.
Yeah.
And just the way they handle, like, bro, it's just a bunch of AI artwork, and then like flooding the like every week they have her releasing music. Like it's just like, bro, like when are we going to like actually like release music properly with Tesla
as an artist, brand, and everything?
When are you gonna like have a good rollout? like actually good artwork, and then something like story based. She's telling a story. She doesn't even have to be necessarily telling the story on the songs, but like even through the visuals and the way it's put together and the way it's rolled out. Like, bro, Tesla has so much potential, but she's just being held in this box of black market records. And I'm just like,
Maybe
sometimes
that's not their style.
like sometimes
It's not their style to do that. Maybe their
and
functioning
then a
is
lot
different.
of times they put her on songs that I don't know why you're on this song with like all these 6 other niggas. Like, I don't know why you're
I
there,
want her to
but
stand
like,
on her
bro,
own. I do see that though. I see that. Like, it'll
I
be
feel
good
like
to see.
Tesla has so much potential.
Yeah,
bro.
it'd be
I
good to
don't
see
know.
her make up. I mean, of course, artists make solo pushes, but it'd be good to see her make more of a solo push. Black market records tends
real.
to have their artists tend to be more of like a communal thing. At least that's how I see it. Like it usually looks like a communal thing where a bunch of them come together and make music and they collaborate with each other heavily. And that's how you get to know them. So they would
Yeah.
definitely have a retort to that point, but that's our observations.
And I guess the last song I listened to was Maria by Rita Wangoi. Yeah, but Sam, what do you think we should play for the end of the podcast?
This week, actually the song I want to play is a song that I completely skipped over last week. But it's such a phenomenal song. I think it sounds great. The production really works for their voices. I can hear one more artist in there, but I'm not going to mention it because we mentioned it so many times. But Wendy K and Sanaipei dropped a song called Sina Raha. It's produced by Dillie. It's really cool, very, very mellow. The strings at the end add like a really nice emotional touch. I think their voices go well together. I think it did well. It sounds really good to me. And it's something that I would go back playing. So that's what we're doing. So this week we're going to Wendy K and Sanaipei Tande's Sina Raha. That was Sina Raha presented by brought us by Wendy K, sang by Wendy K, Sanaipei Tande, produced by Dillie. Just a very lovely song, and yeah, I'd like to listen to more of that collaboration if they have some. Sanaipei has been in the industry too. She's still releasing good music. I like that. I really like that.
Shout out to Sanaipei. Talk about hashtag longevity.
Legacy. Leg.
Yeah, you're the only leg I see.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, listen, thank you guys so much as always for listening to this podcast. Let's do better and let's listen to more Kenyan music on
just so that they show
streaming
up.
platforms.
If not for anything,
please.
just so they show up on Spotify.
Not to be embarrassed.
Yeah,
just so that we're not embarrassed.
Imagine if the next
you know
song,
what I mean?
the next 5 years, it's still Drake up there. Like, why?
Oh man! Oh my God! No, imagine if there's now like Sabrina Carpenter to show we've even regressed even more.
Bad Bunny. Oh man.
No, but okay, well, but Bunny at least like the beats are similar to Gengeton, so even that I can like let slide. But anyway, listen, we started this podcast because we wanted to see Kenyan artists be paid more and played more.
Producers.
Emphasis on the played more, and producers and music producers, because without us, the industry is nothing. If you're listening to this podcast and you're in a creative industry of sorts, I devised a mantra to kind of help me be better at creating music. And I call that the 3 C's. The first C being confidence. Always be confident in your work. If you are not confident in your work, nobody's going to want to listen to that. You have to be confident that what you're doing is the right thing. Believe in yourself. Number 2 is consistency. Always be consistent, both in the way that you are creating your art and in the way that you are letting your art be consumed. In this age where everybody's releasing music, releasing art, everybody's super talented, it's very, very easy to get forgotten. So you have to find a way to stand out. And that's usually through consistency. So be consistent. And number 3, craft. Always work on your craft. Every day do something beneficial towards your chosen creative pathway. And trust me, even 5 minutes a day is enough. And so yeah, man, that was episode 170. We're in the 170s. So some get out your bell bottoms and grow out your afro because we are in the 70s again. And yeah, man. Hey, what do you think? What do you want to say? The floor is yours.
It's just making me sad over just aging. I don't know if the afro is something I can do anymore.
Oh, wow, that was so insensitive. Oh, but okay.
I'll see you guys on episode 171, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, bye guys. I'm sorry. Bye. See you.